Hi everybody, Nicole Chauvet here with Realty. Okay, so this is another one. Don't do what I did. So basically, if you guys are working with renters, which it's a good way to supplement your income, and this is also for anybody that's listening out there that's trying to rent, especially in this market. You guys need to know, as a realtor, it's so important to make sure that they qualify. Do your best. The things you can ask for is 3 years employment history. You can ask for proof of income. You can ask for a credit score report. A lot of the companies do a free one once a year. And so like these are things that you should ask for before helping them to find a place to rent. And I'll tell you why. Because I went through a disaster, and I definitely won't name names, but I had somebody that was like, oh, I want to look for a house for rent that fits these qualifications. And they said their problem was they didn't make 3 times the rent to be able to pay it. And that's often a requirement, was also a requirement in California. So I guess they're requiring that here as well in Nevada, a lot of them, or, a security deposit, things like that. So, you want to make sure that your clients can afford it, because a lot of times when people are actually using realtors to rent out their property, it's so that they do the pre-screening for them. That's what they're paying for. That's our job. And don't waste your time not doing your job. Don't waste your time with people that don't have money to get what they want, or putting someone else in a bad situation, because it's just bad when that happens. So, for those people that can't afford something like that, your options are to have a cosigner who's willing to put their name up behind it and back up that, somebody that makes that much money that's willing to put their name on it, right? And so that can sort of alleviate that issue. But you have to understand it's a hot market with low inventory. So something that you like today might not be there tomorrow. And it's very unlikely that they're going to negotiate when there's plenty of people that are willing to pay full price with all requirements and take it off the market right away. So definitely screen your people. Make sure that they have a decent credit score. Make sure they have a work history. Make sure they have income to cover, right, all of this stuff. And that way you weed out the people that are not going to be good customers. And this is your name on the line. You don't want to have a bad reputation because you put somebody in a house or a rental place and didn't screen them, and they ended up squatting, and then it just makes you look really bad. Yeah, okay, I can't be held responsible for what people do in the future, but I can look at their record right now and try to make sure that they can afford what they're looking for. That's my job to the clients and to the people that are also paying me, which is the people that are listing their homes for rent or the apartments or anything like that. So understand that that's part of being professional. And don't be afraid to ask for those things up front, because otherwise you're going to waste a lot of time. I mean, when I started dealing with renters, I wasted time, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll help you. This is that. I sent them listings of what's out there, and they just came back and were like, I can't afford it. This is my situation. And it just seemed like a lot of stories, the paperwork will back up the facts. That's all I can say. Talk is cheap. So, it's always good to be kind about it. Tell them their options. Maybe there's other people that are willing to take that, or maybe they need to expand their territory, or maybe they need to look at other pricing or other options, because, you don't want them left out of the cold. But, when you use a realtor for renting, that's what you're doing, is you're trying to find a match between the renter and the owner, and a good match. You don't want to, again, give yourself a bad reputation. You don't want to screw over, the person that owns the property that's trying to rent it out, and you also don't want to give yourself a bad name. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of people in bad situations right now with the economy and everything, but, if you're honest and open about everything, hopefully people won't get too upset about it. You could still tell them their options in the meantime, and just, do your best to weed them out. No need to be nasty. Again, you don't need to do that at all, but don't waste your time, because time is money, especially in this business. And again, to find those right matches for each other, the properties and the people, you have to screen them out. Screen them right away, and don't be afraid to ask for those things. Again, you want 3 years employment history. You want a decent credit score, which they can pull, right? And you want proof of funds, right? So you want all these things that can match up, and you want the rental history. Okay, somebody asked me once, how do I get my rental history? Go to the person you're renting from. Show us a record that you have proof that you are renting successfully from them without defaulting. Things like that are super important. Be very careful when people say, oh, I work for myself. You know, there's a lot of BSers out there. I want to say, unfortunately, you know, yeah, that does happen, but I want proof of income, okay? Let me see the funds. Okay, bank statements. If you say you work for yourself, let me see the bank statements. If it's for a company, let me see the pay stubs, right? Like, so like we want substantial evidence, because people are just going to lie to get what they want. And it's not okay, because again, it's your reputation, it's your company, and you can't help both sides of the transaction if it's not an honest transaction. So keep those things in mind. I hope I saved you guys a bunch of time, and I hope I helped everybody else out there. If you don't meet those requirements, for those of you that can't afford it, and I know there's a lot of people out there, my recommendations are to you, check the papers. There's people that are more willing to negotiate who are in different situations, and maybe they'll help you out. But unfortunately, those people that are paying a little bit extra to have a realtor to list their home, it's because they want us to weed out the people that can't afford it and weed out the people that don't meet those requirements. So remember that when you're using a realtor, that's our job, is to try to keep the clientele of quality and meet those requirements. And again, you're in a hot market here, so you know people want to sit there and say, oh, can I negotiate? Well, you're asking me if you can negotiate on a property that the next day is gone. You tell me if you think you can negotiate. What do you guys think? Comment below. So again, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I hope that this little mini tutorial about helping renters out helped all you guys. Until next time.